أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. Verily, our praise is due to Allah. We praise Him, we seek His aid, and we ask for His forgiveness. We seek refuge in Allah from the evils of our own selves and from the evils of our own actions. And whomsoever Allah guides, none can misguide. And whomsoever Allah leaves astray, none can guide back to the correct path. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We testify there is no deity worthy of our worship except for Allah, who is alone in a partnership. There never has and never will be another. And we bear witness that Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, is the last and the final prophet of Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers and sisters, friends and family, everybody tuning in to the live stream and everybody joining us for the Zoom meeting, for the reading, as in for the discussion afterwards. Thank you for joining us for our Sunday discussion, where we will be continuing the reading and the reflections of the book Muhammad Akram Nadwi's Al-Muhaddithat, the Women Scholars in Islam. Last week we had left off around page 169, and we should be continuing on to the end of chapter number 6 today, which will be talking about the women's role of diffusion of the knowledge, reading to the teachers, the correspondences, and how they transmitted those hadiths, and then the assemblies for those in particular narrations. And this may be a quick section today, inshallah. There are a couple of photos that they use in reference for those transcriptions or the list of attendees of who joined for those in particular courses that we're going to reference, but we should be able to finish before 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, inshallah. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Bismillah. Reading to the teacher. So next in rank, after hearing the text spoken, excuse me, by the sheikh or the sheikha themselves, is reading it to them. In later centuries, when there were more popular books and more copyists, this way gained in popularity. Ibn al-Jawzi says in the account of Karima al-Mawaziyah that Imams like al-Kitab, al-Baghdadi, Ibn al-Mutalib, al-Sama'ani, and Abu Talib al-Zainabi read to her. And al-Sama'ani has stated that al-Kitab read the whole of the Sitta al-Bukhari to Karima al-Mawaziyah in 5 days. And similarly, so, subhanAllah, putting that into reference, all of Sahih Bukhari in 5 days, Allahu Akbar. Similarly, Abu al-Waqat, Abd al-Awwal, Ibn Isa, Ibn Suwaib al-Hawari read the Jews, Biba bint Abd al-Samad al-Harth Ammaiya with her, and al-Dahabi says in the account of Sit al-Wurzara bint al-Munaja, I read to her Sahih al-Bukhari and Musnad al-Shifai, and Muhammad al-Wani read to her Tuhiyat al-Bukhari, Kitab al-Tawheed from Sahih al-Bukhari, and the whole of the Sahih. Then the fifth part of Fawaid, Abd al-Rahman ibn Umar ibn Nasr al-Dimashqi, Jews containing 12 hadith from Musnad al-Shafa'i, 3 sections from the Ali of Kitab al-Baghdadi, and similarly reading to her were attended by Ahmed ibn Abu Bakr, ibn Abd al-Hadi, Abu Huraira ibn al-Danhabi, Ali ibn Muhammad ibn Abi al-Majid al-Damashqi, and Fatima bint Muhammad ibn al-Munaja al-Tukhiyya, Muhammad ibn Ali Saleh al-Din al-Saftawi, Ahmed ibn Abdullah ibn Ahmed ibn al-Nasir al-Hanbali, Muhammad ibn Abdullah ibn Ahmed al-Samit, Muhammad ibn Omar ibn Muhammad al-Shafa'i, and a very large number of people read to Zainab bint al-Kamal. And Hafiz ibn Hajar says in the account of Fatima bin Muhammad ibn Abd al-Hadi, I read to her many books, and Aja in Salihah, and Taqi al-Din al-Fasi also read many books with her. And then the next transmission of the hadith is correspondence. So students also received hadith from the Muhaddithat by writing to them. An early example is scholars writing to Suhaiba al-Ansariya about her hadith. And Amir al-Shabi narrates that Musruq and Amir ibn Utbah wrote to Subaya bint al-Harith asking about her case. She wrote back and explained the circumstance that she delivered at 25 days after the death of her husband, and with that ended her iddah. Then Abu al-Sanabil ibn Bakak had come by and told her that she had rushed and that she should have waited for the later of the two dates, and in this case, the 4 full months and 10 days of the known period of the iddah. And she had become concentrated that she had made a mistake. Then I came to the Prophet ﷺ and asked him to pray for my forgiveness. He said, "Why is that?" And I told him, and he said, "If you find a suitable husband, then marry him." And correspondence with women for the purpose of establishing knowledge of the Hadith is well established in Islam. Hafiz Abd al-Azim al-Mandiri wrote to a large number of women scholars whom he has mentioned in al-Takmila, the Warafiyat, al-Nughala, and another example is Sadiya bint Musa al-Maraniya. She left Syria for Egypt, and al-Dhanbi was unable to receive hadith directly from her, and he much regretted missing the opportunity, and then he received her hadith from her through correspondence. Ijaza, so I explained earlier, or the author explained earlier, that ijaza was an accepted form of receiving and transmitting hadith and knowledge of the Sunnah, and was very popular in the later centuries. And the Muhaddithat gave ijaza both verbally and in writing. And below is an ijaza from Sit al-Kitaba bint Ali ibn Yahya ibn Ali al-Torah. And the document requesting ijaza or istihada would often be circulated to different teachers who would record their ijaza on that document. And sometimes the istidada is addressed to a single sheikh or sheikha, and in the document copy showing on the previous page, the request is from one Mohammad ibn Khalaf ibn Rija for himself and his children, male and female, and for their mothers. And for their mother. And the sheikha responds, writing, "I have given ijaza for what they have asked." Then following the word written is her signature, Sit al-Kitaba bint Ali ibn Yahya ibn Ali al-Tara. And it was more typical, just as it was more practical for istihada to be circulated to many from many, and the teacher would then register the name of several people within the document for whom the ijaza was valid. And at times, such ijaza included a very long list of student names. For example, the Sheikha Muhammad Zainab bint Ahmed ibn Omar al-Muqdisiyya gave ijaza for istihada written down in Damascus in 694, which names the following persons. The grouping of names here indicated by a separating line, not in the original, is some of interest. And I'm going to skip all of these names. If you'd like to reference it, feel free to read them yourselves. But again, this is the reference of all the people whom these correspondence were being sent out with in regards for one in particular mentioning or ijaza. SubhanAllah. So assemblies for narration and for teaching. So the women organized their assemblies for teaching and narrating hadith in their houses or the houses of others, inside of mosques, madrasas, or other places like ribats, retreats, and orchards and gardens, wherever it was easy and convenient for the purpose and for the people. And I've not found any evidence that the companions or the jurists and traditionalists of later centuries put any hindrance in the way of women's teaching. To the contrary, their assemblies were well attended by jurists and great scholars. First example here is houses. Al-Mu'minin Aisha taught in her own house and in Basra, in the house of Abdullah ibn Khalaf, where she was a guest of Safiya bint al-Harith ibn Talha ibn Abi Talha al-Abdari, and similarly among the wives of the Prophet ﷺ, and the companions taught in private houses, even since the beginning tradition. So that tradition has continued until our day. And among the Muhaddithat of the 6th century, Fatima bint Ali ibn al-Hussein taught at her home, and Ibn al-Sakir attended her classes and narrated from her. And before studying the hadith, he says, Abiha Fatima bint Ali ibn al-Hussein narrated to us in her house while I was reading to her. And Hafiz Diya al-Din al-Maqdisi says, I heard the first, second, and third parts from Fawaid al-Hajj from al-Fakir, Juma'ah bint Abi Sa'ad Raja ibn Abi Nasr al-Hussein ibn Salim al-Asbahaniya on Wednesday, the 4th or 5th of Safar, 599, at her house in Isfahan. And Muhammad ibn Yusuf ibn Muhammad al-Birzali says, I read the sixth part of al-Fawaid al-Muntaqaha al-Gharib al-Anshuyuk al-Wali al-Maruf bil-Mukhdalasiyat with the righteous Sheikh al-Fatniyan Fitnian Hantama bint al-Sheikh Abi al-Fath al-Mafarij Ibn Ali Ibn Maslama, sorry, in her house in Damascus on Tuesday, 18th Jumada al-Ula, 630. And is recorded on the account of Zainab bint al-Alam, Ahmad ibn Kamil, Ibn Omar al-Maqdisi, that Ibn Rushayd received hadith from her in her house in Qaisiyun in 684. And Ibn Rushayd says in his account of Zainab bint Muwafaq al-Din Abd al-Latif al-Lughawi, I read to her a Jews from the Hadith, Abi Ishaq, Ibrahim ibn al-Hussein ibn Dizil al-Hamadani in the house of al-Fatal in Cairo on Monday, the 29th of Rajab, 684. In Hadith, Abd al-Wahhab al-Kilabi was read to Zainab bint Abdullah ibn Abd al-Jabbar al-Muqtasiyah at her house in Damascus on the Thursday, 23rd of Shaban, 718, and Fa'adil al-Madina of Abu al-Sa'id al-Mafadal ibn Muhammad ibn Ibrahim al-Jundi al-Yamani was read to Ahmed Khadija bint Ahmed ibn Abd al-Daim al-Maqdisi in her brother's house on Wednesday, the 12th of Rabi al-Akhir, 683. And Hadith Ibaytullah al-Akfani was read to Zainab bint Ismail ibn al-Khabaz in the house of Ahmed ibn Sa'id ibn Omar al-Sufi, one of the students on Thursday, the 24th of Jumada al-Akhira, 744. And the document copied from, we're referencing here, is the Sama of the book of the Hadith, Luwayan. And the names the teacher as the Shaykh, the righteous, the authentic, al-Fatah Karima bint al-Amin, Abd al-Wahhab, Ibn Ali, Ibn al-Khadir, al-Zubayriya. And then follows her isnad to the author of the book, the list of the names of the men and the women who attended, the date and the location of the class, Tuesday, the 17th of Rabi al-Awwal, 629, in her house in Damascus. Next is in regards from mosque. So the women also held their classes in the mosque. Al-Darda is well known for teaching in the Mosque of Damascus in Jerusalem, and her classes were attended by male and female jurists and traditionalists, as we noted earlier. Even the Caliph Abd al-Malik ibn Marwan was a regular participant. Another example is of the righteous Sheikha al-Khair Fatima bint Ibrahim ibn Muhammad ibn Johar al-Baki al-Bataihi and al-Danhabi says in his account of her, she heard Sahih Bukhari from Ibn al-Zabidi, Sahih Muslim from Abu al-Thani, Mahmud ibn al-Hasiri, and also studied with Abu al-Qasim ibn Warawaha, and she lived a long life and narrated a lot. And Hafiz ibn al-Qayyim studied hadith with her, and al-Danhabi says, my son al-Subki, Shiraz al-Din ibn al-Kuwait, al-Taqi Taqi ibn Abi al-Hasan, and the great number of others studied hadith with her. And she taught hadith in the mosque of the Prophet ﷺ in Medina. And Ibn Rushayd says, she came in the Syrian caravan as visitor and pilgrim. I met her in the mosque of the Prophet ﷺ, and the hadith were read to her while she was leaning on the side of the wall of the grave of the Prophet ﷺ in front of his head. And she wrote ijaza with her own hand for me and for others. And there too, Ibn Rushayd records that he read some hadiths with Fatima. And it was not possible that Fatima ibn Ibrahim ibn Muhammad could have taught at a spot so revered by the whole community unless she enjoyed its respect and trust in the highest degree. How great of an honor for her. May Allah SWT reward her. Amin. And in Damascus, the women used to teach in several mosques like Al-Jamia al-Muzaffari, Jami al-Banu Umayyah. Hafiz ibn Nasir al-Din Dimashqi says in his note on Aisha bint Abd al-Hadi, she was appointed to the post of teacher of hadith in the Grand Mosque of Banu Umayyah. Next, regarding schools or madrasas, the women scholars also taught in the schools, where their classes were attended by both male and female students of hadith. And the records are plentiful and ambiguous about this. Unambiguous about this. Majlis al-Bitaqa of Abu al-Qasim Hamza ibn Muhammad ibn Ali al-Hinani was read to Zainab bint al-Kamal and Habiba bint al-Zain in al-Madrasa al-Diyaiya on Thursday, 28th of Safar, 733. And Hadith of Bakr ibn Ahmad ibn Shirazi was read to Zainab bint Maki al-Horani in al-Madrasa al-Mismariya in Damascus in 688 in the class of 19 students. And Kitab al-Fitan of Hanbal ibn Ishaq al-Shaybani was read to Sit al-Ahl ibn Alwan in the Madrasat al-Hanbila in Damascus on Saturday, the 16th of Rabi al-Awwal, 699 in the class of 16 students. And Fawaid Abi Ahmed al-Hakim was read to Aisha bin Saif al-Din Abu Bakr ibn Kolaji of Tuesday, 4th of Muharram, 793 in al-Madrasa al-Khataniya. And below is a copy of a legible, beautifully written Sama for the class of the Hadith Abi al-Hussein al-Kilabi. And the teacher is the Sheikha, the righteous, the women on high Isnad, the long-lived Ahmed Zainab bint Maki ibn Ali ibn Kamil al-Harani. And she was one of the teachers of al-Mizi, of Ibn Taymiyyah, of al-Dhanhabi, al-Bizali, and other famous scholars of that time. And the document continues with her isnad to the author of the book, then lists the names of the men and the women who attended. And it says that the class included 5 sessions of Amali al-Jawhari, and the date given was Friday, the 10th of Jumada al-Akhira, 688. The venue, al-Madrasa al-Mismariya in Damascus. And the note in the margin names someone who has been omitted from the register, and another person has signed to verify the addition of that name. And in other places too, the source also records that women taught hadiths in ribats and gardens. Ribats were retreats for study and religious reflections, usually located outside of major cities, and they should not be confused with frontier strongholds or fortresses, which the same name is used. And for example, hadith of Abu Amr Uthman ibn Muhammad ibn Ahmed ibn Muhammad al-Samarkandi was read to Zainab bint al-Kamal in Ribat ibn al-Qalanisi in Qasyun on Tuesday, the 1st of Dhul Hijjah, 743, in a class attended by 31 students. Juz al-Hanbal Ibn Ishaq was read to her in the Ribat of Damascus in 733 and attended by a large number of students. And hadith of Abu Ali al-Hasan ibn Ahmad ibn Ibrahim ibn Shahadan was read to Zainab bint al-Khatib, Muhayyib al-Din al-Horasani in Ribat Baldak in Damascus in 722, and Karamat al-Awliya of al-Hasan ibn Muhammad al-Khalal was read to Sit al-Fuqaha al-Wasitiyya in the Ribat of Qasyun in 723. And Musnad Abdullah ibn Omar was read to the great Sheikha and famous Muhadditha Sira Karima bint Abd al-Wahhab al-Zubayriya in her garden at 639. Kuramat al-Awaliya was read to Zainab bint al-Kamal in the garden of Amin al-Din al-Awani in the lands of al-Orza in 728, and Hadith Luwain of Abu Jafar Muhammad ibn Sulaiman al-Masisi was read to al-Fadl bint al-Amin Abd al-Wahhab ibn Ali ibn Khadir al-Zubayriya in the garden of Maitur of Beit Layya in 633, and a copy shown on this page, or the next page, of the Samah for the records, this class records, in the usual way, the name of the Sheikha, her isnad to the book's author, and the names of the men and the women who attended, and it records also that when asked, the Sheikha gave her ijaza verbally to those who attended, and the date and place that are given here are Wednesday, 19th of Jumada al-Ula, 633, in her garden in Maitur in the land of Beit al-Layha. And with that, we'll close here into the introduction for chapter number 7, where we stop at page 184. With that, we will continue for next week. Jazakallah everybody for joining in, and we will see you then. Allahumma subhanahu wa bihamdi, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.